Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to learn about how to apply 18 electron rule to solve the problems. The problems that are discussed in this video are based on neutral atom method. Identify the transition metal in the following 18 electron complexes. So we are going to discuss 3 complexes here. The first one here is eta 5 C5H5, eta 4 C4H6 M P Me3 twice H, where M is the second row transition metal. So let us do the electron count now in the same way as this is given in the formula. So first one is eta 5 C5H5. This is cyclopentadienyl ring anion. All the 5 carbon atoms are attached to the metal, so the electron count is 5. Next one is eta 4 C4H6. This is nothing but 1,3-butadiene. So there are two double bonds. Both the double bonds are attached to the metal, so the electron count is 4. M, the electron count from the metal is X, because we don't know that is what we are going to calculate, and M is the metal is considered in its zero oxidation state. Next one is the phosphine ligand. Each phosphine ligand donates 2 electrons, so 2 into 2, 4. The hydrogen is the hydrido ligand, and the electron count by neutral atom method is 1. So here it is written as 1. So now there is no charge for the complex. So we are not bothered about whether it is a cationic complex or an anionic complex. So here the complex that is given is neutral in nature. So the charge is not, the electron count due to charge is not given here. So now the total electron count is actually the electron count from the metal, the electron count from the ligand, and the electron count from the charge. Since the charge is neutral, we are just going to add this. This amounts to 14 plus x. So now in the problem it is given that it is an 18 electron complex. So 14 plus x is equal to 18, which means x is equal to 4. Now the metal is in zero oxidation state, which means that the electronic configuration of the metal will be Ns2 N-1 D2. The metal belongs to group 4. 2 electron from S and add the electron count from the D. That will be the group number. Okay, so now group number is 4. 4 means it belongs to titanium group. Since the metal belongs to the second row, the second row element in titanium group is zirconium. So the metal that is in this complex is zirconium. Let us familiarize ourselves with another problem. Now let us do the electron count. So C5H5 is cyclopentadienyl anion. There are all the 5 carbon are attached to the metal. So the electron count is 5. Metal electron count is X, and this is ethylene. Ethylene has one double bond with an electron contribution of 2. There are 2 ethylene ligand, so 4. So the total electron count is 9 plus X, because there is no charge for the metal. So 9 plus X is equal to 18, which means X is equal to 9. So here the 9 refers to the contribution from the metal in its zero oxidation state. So Ns2 N-1 D7. Along with the 2 electrons from the S, we have to add the 7 electrons from the D. So the group number is 9. So it belongs to cobalt group. Now the metal belongs to the first row transition metal series. So the M in this complex is cobalt. Let us do another type of problem. This is very easy because we are just going to see whether the complex obey 18 electron rule or not. So this is a very well-known complex, FeCO5 times. Now here each carbonyl contributes 2 electrons. So there are 5 carbonyls. So electron count from the carbonyl is 10. And iron belongs to group 8. So Ns2, N-1, D6. So 8 electrons are coming from the contributed from iron. So the total electron count is 18. So FeCO5 times obeys 18 electron rule. The next one Here we have an interesting part because the complex is charged here. So let us do the electron count here. Now rhodium belongs to the cobalt group. It is present in the second row in the cobalt group. It is Ns2, N minus 1, D7 configuration. So the electron count is 9. Next one is bipyridyl. This is the bipyridyl ligand. Now this is a chelating ligand. The nitrogen atoms are, it's a bidentate ligand. So now the nitrogen atoms are the donating atoms in this ligand. So each ligand from this nitrogen 2 electron is contributed, and from this nitrogen 2 electron is contributed. So every bipyridyl ligand contributes 4 electrons. So there are 2 bipyridyl ligands. So 4 into 2, 8. The next one is Cl. We know that all the halo ligands contribute 1 towards the total electron count. Now here charge is there. Charge is plus 1, which means that now we have to subtract this electron count, because the plus refers to devoid of electron, right? So whatever the electron count so far has occurred, we have to subtract 1 electron from this. So when it is plus, we have to do minus 1. So the total electron count comes to 17. So this complex does not obey 18 electron rule. So which means that this is not a stable complex. Now let us do another problem. Identify the first row transition metal for each of the following, right? So again, we will do the same kind of similar to the problem that we have seen earlier. M electron count from the M is X, and the electron count from the ligand is 14, because 2 electrons from each carbonyl group and 7 carbonyl ligands are here. Now the charge is plus, that means we have to do the subtraction, minus 1. So the total electron count is 13 plus x. So 13 plus x is equal to 18. So that means x is equal to 5 in its zero oxidation state. So that means it belongs to group 5, Ns2, N minus 1, D3, or the vanadium group. And here it is already given that it is the first row transition metal. So metal here is vanadium. Okay, right. Let us now do one more problem here. Right. So we will do the electron count. This is the alkyl group. For alkyl group, the electron count is 1. For M, the electron count is X. There are 5 carbonyl groups. So the electron count from carbonyl is 10. So there is no charge. So there is no addition or subtraction of electrons. So just the total now is 11 plus X is equal to 18, because the complex obeys 18 electron rule, and therefore X is equal to 7. Now here again 7 refers to group 7, and group 7 is nothing but the manganese group, and here it belongs to the M refers to the first row transition metal. So the metal here is manganese. Next problem here is we'll do the electron count for this. Metal is X. Carbon, there are 2 carbonyl groups. So 2 into 2, the electron count from the carbonyl group is 4. Cs is a ligand analog to CO, right? This is a thio analog of CO. So the contribution is very similar to the contribution of carbonyl. So the contribution is 2. The next one is phosphine ligand, triphenyl phosphine. So the contribution is 2. It's a neutral ligand. And next one is bromine. For all halo compounds, if it is going to be directly attached to the metal, then the electron count is 1. So now here the total is 9 plus X. So it is already given that to calculate based on the 18 electron rule. So 9 plus X is equal to 18, or X is equal to 9, which means that it belongs to cobalt group, or M is CO. Again, we will take up one more charged complex here. Right now, eta 4 C4H4 here refers to cyclobutadiene, where both the double bonds are attached to the metal. So the electron count is 4. This is cyclopentadienyl anion. The electron count is 5. Metal electron count is X, because we don't know what is the metal. The charge is plus 1. So we are subtracting the electrons. So the total electron count is 8 plus x, which means that x is equal to 10. So now 10 refers to nickel group and the metal here is nickel. Now, on the basis of 18 electron rule, determine the expected charge, that is Z, on the following. How to solve such problems? So now the problem will be given in this format, mLx power Z. Note, whenever the charge of the complex is negative, we will be adding the number to the total electron count or vice versa. So here in previous cases, we have seen that whenever the charge is plus, then we have subtracted the electron count. We have done the subtraction, right? Now whenever the charge is negative, we are going to add that number of electrons to the total electron count. So now the total electron count is done as follows. So the total electron count is equal to electrons in the valence shell of the metal plus electrons that are contributed or donated by the ligands minus the charge of the complex. So this is the formula that we are going to use. You will understand why we are putting the minus here, because this is the reverse case. If the Z is negative, then we need to add the electron. If the Z is positive, then we have to subtract the electron. That is why the minus is put here. So we can solve the problem directly and we will get the Z value with the sign directly from the formula only when you use minus here, right? So this is the formula that we are going to use throughout. On the basis of the 18 electron rule, determine the expected charge Z on the following. So the complex is given here. Now Z refers to charge of the complex. Z could be either plus or minus. So let us now do the electron count. Cobalt belongs to group 9. In its zero oxidation state or in its elemental state, it is Ns2 N-1 D7. So the electron count is 9. Carbonyl is, there are 3 carbonyl groups, so each contributes 2 electrons, so 6. So charge, since the charge is Z, it is written as minus Z. So the total is going to be 15 minus Z, which is equal to 18 as given in the problem, or Z is equal to minus 3. So the charge of the complex is minus 3. Suppose if you would have written the formula like this, then we would have ended up the answer with Z is equal to 3. Now it is very important for us to go back and put it and check. Now in the examination, what we will think, we used to think that Z we have to find, and then I have found out what is Z. So we will easily mark or write down the answer as 3. Right? We will be in a hurry. We will not be having time to go and check and put it back in the problem and see whether the 18 number is coming or not. So in that way, we will be doing the mistake. Suppose if I'm going to put this as minus 3, so this will become as minus of minus 3. So that will be plus 3. So you will get the answer of 18. Suppose if I put charge is equal to 3, then it becomes minus 3. Then the total electron count of the problem will come as 12. So this is going to lead to a wrong answer. So that is why, right, we are going to take this as minus Z in the problem. So let us do one more problem here. Now in this problem, we come across a nitrosyl group as a ligand. It is in its linear format. So the electron count for the nitrosyl group is 3. Now nickel belongs to group 10. Ns2 N-1 D8 is its outermost electronic configuration. And there are 3 carbonyl groups, so totally 6 electron count. So again charge is Z and it is counted as minus Z. So the total electron count is 19 minus Z. So which means that Z is equal to plus 1. So now minus Z. So from the formula here we get this as minus Z is equal to minus 1 or Z is equal to plus 1. So we get the formula, sorry, we get the answer for the Z with the charge. So we can directly write the answer. We will do one more problem here. Let us do the electron count. Eta 5 C5H5 is the cyclopentadienyl anion with the electron count of 5. Then next is the iron here with the electron count of 8. Next is carbonyl with 2 electron count. There are 3 carbonyl 6, and as it is written as minus Z, and it is very similar to the previous problem. The charge of the complex is +1. Now, this is the advantage of neutral atom method. We need not have to worry about what is the oxidation state of the metal, because now we are getting the answer as +1. So we need not have to think whether the +1 will refer to what is the oxidation state of iron. Do we have to incorporate it in the oxidation state of the iron? We need to subtract or minus, or you have to add to the oxidation state. So a lot of confusions might occur if we are going to follow the oxidation method, right? Since we are following the neutral atom method, whatever answer we are getting with the sign, that will be directly the answer for the Z. So one more advantage of neutral atom method is we are considering the metal in its zero oxidation state or in its elemental state. So now whenever we need to find what is the metal, we will be directly getting what is the electron count. That electron count will be the group number, and that group number will be the number of electrons that is present in its valence shell. So it is very easy to identify the metal also, right, from by neutral atom method. So that is why we follow the neutral atom method, because directly we get the answer without any further modification that we have to do with the answer. Now, what are the uses of this 18 electron rule? So far, we have solved the problems. All those problems are very directly, some complexes are given, and you were asked to check whether it obeys or it is stable or something like that, right? So now, where it is actually used. So now, let us check. The reactivity of an organometallic compound can be found based on the 18 electron rule towards oxidative addition or reactive elimination. Now, suppose let me say you come across a organometallic compound. You want to check whether the compound is reactive or not, whether it is reactive towards oxidative addition or whether it is reactive towards reductive elimination. How will I check? Now, after doing these reactions, the product that I obtain should obey 18 electron rule. If the product obtained obeys 18 electron rule, then the reaction will go towards the more stable product. So that means the starting material that I have chosen will undergo this reaction, right? So the reactivity of the organometallic compound towards particular reactions can be predicted based on the 18 electron rule. The next use is to find out the stability of the intermediates in catalytic cycles. Now, organometallic catalysts are well known for their catalytic activity in synthetic organic chemistry. There are many organic reactions, and there are many synthesis of drugs, manufacturing of drugs that are done based on the organometallic catalyst. So what is a catalyst? A catalyst is a one which is added in one of the step and removed in another step, right? So that means there will be a regeneration of the catalyst. So every catalyst, every reaction in which involves catalyst will undergo cycle of reactions. So this cycle of reactions will pass through many intermediate stages. Now, through the intermediate, whenever the intermediate occurs, based on in the catalyst where the organometallic compounds are used, we are able to find out the stability of those intermediates based on the 18 electron rule. So the scientist or the researchers can find out whether this intermediate is formed. So what could be the mechanism that is followed throughout the catalytic cycle for a particular organic synthesis. So this is a very useful understanding that you will get from the 18 electron rule. Now there is a reading material link that is provided in the description box. Also the link for the worksheet is also provided. In the worksheet you will come across three different types of problems. First one is to test your understanding. Second one is a little higher order thinking where some curious questions have been asked. And third one is those who are willing or preparing for your competitive exams, you can have a feel of how the questions will be. So some of the questions from previous competitive exams are collected and then given there, right? Yeah. Thank you so much for your attention.